Welcome everyone, this is about the linoleum block print project for Art 1. Let's go ahead and get started to figure out what we are making and how to go about doing it. So block printing is one type of printmaking. We have intaglio, collagraph, and screen printing are different types of printmaking as well. In printmaking, a surface is taken away from or added to. The ink is applied to the surface and then printed on paper. With printmaking, you can make several images from the same source. We will be using soft-cut linoleum blocks and a linoleum cutter to carve out textures. What's really important is what you carve away does not get ink applied to it. Therefore, the color of your paper is what will be left. We will work with white paper and black ink, so the areas that you carve away from the block will show up white. Remember that what you are carving out textures and light values, trying to minimize outlines. For the subject matter of your block print, you will depict a place that is special to you. You can do your home, bedroom, an important landscape. You can choose to do an interior or exterior, but your work should show depth and space. I would suggest you get a photo to work from to make your work more believable. You can take artistic license and stylize, but there should be some element of realism. So here are some examples. Notice how the block that is being shown was actually cut into to create a shape of its own. That's something you can do if you'd like to do that. And notice how whatever was carved away stays white, or in this case, the color of the paper, which is red. And whatever was left behind is now black, which is the color of the ink. This one's really great because it shows the impact of leaving something that is black, so leaving the linoleum the way it is. And then also the thoughtfulness of the artist when it came to surrounding the areas of the lamppost and the clock, and how the background was going to play a role in the overall interest and texture of this design. And lastly, I really enjoy this one because of the movement that is created within the waterscape, how the artist chose to carve away parts of the linoleum, and then also how the sky is carved away, but they left little dots of the linoleum to give a little bit of texture as well. So it's not just pure white, it does have some interest to it. So our printmaking tools. We have our lino cutter and gouge tips. There are different shapes and different sizes for those gouge tips, and you will be, most will be available to you. You have your baron, which allows you to kind of press the paper onto your linoleum block cut nice and evenly to apply pressure. Your brayer is what's going to spread the ink on your linoleum. Your inking plate, it's pretty obvious what that is. It's where your ink goes, so you can roll it out. Here is your linoleum, or what we call soft cut, and the block printing ink. So we're going to watch a video made by Miss Flanagan on how to understand how to put the lino cutter together, take it apart, put in the different gouge tips correctly so you don't lose any pieces. As always, the scraps do not hide in the handles. Please don't do that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then that's great. But if you do, please don't do it. So here are two YouTube videos kind of showing different process of the block printing process. We have the Miss Flanagan version that kind of starts from the very beginning and goes all the way to the cutting part of the soft cut. And then this bottom video, it does go through the entire process, but we'll be focusing on how they actually do the printing process. So these next few slides, you're actually given an instruction sheet, and that's going to be what you're going to be following. So I won't be reading off all of these slides. These are something you can refer to on your own because this resource is available to you on Google Classroom, but also is available to you in the hard copy that you're given in the packet that was given to you today. So what's a good print, as in like what's a good image? Keeping in mind that when you start printing your linoleum, it's not going to be perfect at first. It's going to take a few times to get the hang of it. But when you are deciding whether to keep it or not, you want to know, is the image clear? Is there a variety of texture? Is there a variety of thickness and line direction? Is there a range in value? Has outline been minimalized? Has outline been minimized? And are flat, solid, black, and white shapes minimized? So what's kind of nice about lino cutting is if you don't go crazy and you only cut out a few areas, you can always do a test run, actually print out with the ink, take a look, and then see where you need to take more away. Some students will get in trouble when it comes to if they cut too much away, because you can't put any linoleum back once you've cut it out. So please keep that in mind. I know it may be a really cool process and satisfying to you, but be careful how much you cut away at the very beginning. So for technique, what's a good printing technique? Did you center on the paper? The lines are not flooded with ink. Inconsistency is black, not fuzzy. Minimal blips, minimal smudges in the borders, and it's signed correctly. So on the sheet of paper that you were given with the steps, it actually shows you how to do your name, the title, print, and edition. More information about how you'll be cleaning everything, we will go through this when it's time to actually start the printing process. All right, so things to keep in mind. Remembering to use your resources. So things that I'm giving you, as in the YouTube videos, if there's posters in the class, maybe using a Pinterest board to see what other examples there are when it comes to block printing. Just make sure to use your resources so that you feel better prepared and that you are making the best block print that you can. For your grade, you will submit your nearly perfect black and white block print. If you have extra time and want to go above and beyond, you can consider printing with different colored inks, printing on different colored paper, cutting up scrap prints to create a mosaic or collage, printing on fabric if you wanted to bring in a canvas bag or a t-shirt, or giving extra prints to your friends, teachers, and family members. So our timeline is going to be, today is the intro and practice. You'll actually begin planning your final sketch. And then day 2 is finalizing your sketch and transferring to linoleum. Days 3 through 5 are carving and printing. And then day 6, you're going to finalize the best prints, fill out the rubric in Google Classroom, and hand in those 3 prints dry, but also taking pictures and submitting to Google Classroom. Once you are done carving, the printing does go pretty quick, and you may find yourself making 10, 20 prints per class. That's pretty normal if you have the process down correctly. So carving will take the longest time, but once you're done carving, then the rest of the process goes pretty smoothly. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoy block printing. If you haven't tried it before, I hope it's something that you really enjoy doing. And let's go ahead and get started.